Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to talk about the digital assets and central bank digital currencies today. And I'll ensure that we do not sleep over here because it's just after lunch, so we should not be asleep. So for today's session, I'm going to cover a few things. One is the Oracle's leadership in the financial services and payments, and followed by the forces which drives the banks to uptake the digital assets. But one of the foundational parts in the digital asset is the central bank digital currency, which takes a very important role over there. And what Oracle Blockchain Platform helps in developing the digital assets for that. And then I'll quickly talk about the central bank digital currency sandbox, where the different use cases and the unified ledger concept of that. So, as you can see, that Oracle is not new it's new in the financial services. It has a presence over 140 countries, with 15% of the populations covered through their solutions, with 24 out of 28 systematically important financial institutions are managed by Oracle solutions. 110 plus banks in America, 150 plus banks in Europe, 140 in Africa, 40 plus in Middle East, and 200 plus banks are our customers in Oracle's customers. We are empowering the financial services are empowered by Oracle solutions. And also in the Oracle payments processing, there are three very important things which we take care of. It's a large-scale payment systems. We have strong experience in the large-scale payment systems. The Oracle technology is used across multiple different central banks. In the ECB, it's a European Central Bank, Bank of England, and the Bank of Australia. So there's a few names. And you see there are lots of large-scale payment systems which are over here, which are supported by Oracle. But I'd quickly jump into the digital assets area. Now, in digital assets, there are four important drivers which are driving the banks and other financial institutions. The first one is about how these banks will be able to generate more revenues. And along with that one, when they generate more revenues, how they will position themselves in a competitive market. The second is the regulatory. The regulators are pushing the stable coins and the crypto alternatives, pushing for that. So how the banks are going to adjust themselves. The third one is the central bank digital currency momentum is already over there. So how the banks will be able to cope up with that. And last but not the least is the blockchain and the tokenization technology is maturing. So how the banks and the financial institutions will be able to cope up with all these drivers. So digital assets helps in two different aspects. One is it helps in revenue generation, as well as it helps in reducing the cost and the risk. So if I just give an example for the revenue generation opportunities, like the digital custody for the crypto trading, and the transaction fees, securities lending, the collateral management and all. So these are something which the revenue generation opportunities that the banks are looking for, as well as the risk and cost reduction is about the alternatives to the stable coins, like it can be the central bank digital currency, streamlining the cumbersome processes, the fractionalization and the transparency, enabling access to illiquid assets. So there are multiple different cost reduction and the risk reduction parts which the digital assets can take care of. But if you look at the digital assets and the news headlines, it's pretty, because there are the banks who drive to tokenize assets are moving slowly than expected. There are multiple crypto-friendly banks are getting fined. So you can see over here, it's actually there are multiple challenges in the digital assets area. One of the very important part in the digital assets is a central bank digital currency, which is the foundational stone for a more secure and more efficient and more trustworthy types of payment for any kind of digital asset transaction. So from the central bank's perspective, CBDC will give the more monetary policy effectiveness, and it can also reduce the cost of printing the money. Whereas from the perspective of any banks, it is going to give more benefits in terms of the different business models that can evolve out of the central bank digital currency. So if we will look at the central bank digital currency, we need to consider 5 very important or critical areas before we implement the central bank digital currency. The first is the financial architecture of it. Second is the policy choices. Third is the public-private roles, money systems, and the technology choices. So if you look at the financial architecture, it's about whether it's a wholesale or a retail, whether it's a one-tier or a two-tier architecture, and all. So from the policy perspective, what kind of controlled supply I'd like to keep for my token, whether it's going to be the privacy and the regulatability, financial inclusion as well. From the public-private roles, it's about the hybrid tokens, whether we'd like to implement the hybrid token or we'd like to have the central bank as a complete control, or is it going to be the private institutions who will be also coming over there? So this is the public-private roles we need to take care of. And the money systems is very important, like how value is stored in this exchange. So whether we can have an account-based system or a token-based system or a bearer system or a hybrid system. So what kind of money system that we are looking for? And the last one is the technology choices. So whether we are going to have a permission network, whether we're going to have an offline approach and all. So these are the 5 very essential criteria that we need to really focus on before implementing the central bank digital currency. If you look at Hyperledger Fabric and Hyperledger as the open source, so there are more implementations happening across the globe on Hyperledger. And out of these, 8 central bank digital projects are on Hyperledger Fabric. So this is very important that Hyperledger Fabric around the world is taking the prominence from central bank digital currency implementation. Oracle blockchain is actually based on Hyperledger Fabric, and we have also used the Hyperledger Fabric, and we have developed it. We added the few value additions on top of it. So if you look at the Juniper Research Leaderboard, it has put the Oracle blockchain as in the top for the financial blockchain in financial services. And Oracle blockchain has been used in multiple different areas, starting from the banking, finance, insurance, public sector, retail, hospitality, manufacturing, global trade, Web3, and NFT. So there are multiple different areas. The Oracle released the enterprise blockchain platform in 2018, and these are available in 40 plus cloud infrastructures around the world. With all Oracle blockchain platform also provides the REST APIs, which you can integrate directly with your application. It has a built-in interoperability with the EVM and the Ethereum networks, and with 250 plus customers there. So if you look at this is the Oracle blockchain platform. One of the very important thing in any blockchain platform is how it can be integrated with other systems. So if you look at the Hyperledger Foundation's Oracle blockchain platform over here, we have the blockchain app builder, which will automatically generate the chain code for the Hyperledger fabric based on certain declarations. And that can be deployed on top of the blockchain, on top of the blockchain platform. And just by developing that, you will be able to have the REST APIs already available. So you can use those REST APIs in your application and can build the complete application. From the blockchain platform, you can also bring the data on the database and create the analytics and off-chain storage for the live analytics. So the data can also move into the Oracle blockchain or Oracle autonomous database, and you can create the analytics on top of it. You can also integrate with any existing systems with the REST APIs, integration adapters and all. And you can also integrate it with other nodes like a vanilla Hyperledger Fabric or the Oracle Blockchain Enterprise Edition, which is actually an on-premise solution. So if you look at the blockchain, there will be two very important things in blockchain. One is how quickly you can do the experimentation. And second one, once you're done with your experimentation, how quickly you can take it to the production. So Oracle Blockchain Managed Service, is the blockchain as a service. It will help you to implement your POCs very quickly with the help of the blockchain app builder. It will automatically generate the code, deploy it, and you will be able to use it. But at the same time, it will also help you to take you to the production with the high availability and the disaster recovery kind of a system available with it. So from the zero to production, it can happen in weeks. Yeah, so this is what I was mentioning about the Enterprise Edition, Oracle Blockchain Platform Enterprise Edition. This is where you can store the data on-prem, and you can create the network with the cloud and on-prem together. So you can also host this on a separate cloud provider so that you can have a multi-cloud setup as well. The Oracle App Builder, this is which I mentioned about the low-code smart contract generation. So based on some declarative specifications, you can generate the code automatically, and it will automatically generate the APIs for you. And these APIs can be used in your application quickly. Now, if you look at the digital assets part, so digital assets applications can also be developed with the Oracle blockchain blockchain platform, and you have multiple different tokenization standard support for the non-fungible token. It's ERC 721 and ERC 1155 support. For the fungible token, you can have the TTF support. And what will happen over here is the whole and the fractional NFTs can also be created if you'd like to have a network with where you'd like to do a transaction with the NFTs and the fungible tokens together. So Oracle's engagement with multiple CBDC initiatives, starting from the Bank of England, European Central Bank, United States Federal Reserves, and all. So we also did the POC and pilot with top 3 Asian countries. It's one of the top 3 Asian countries we also did it. And this is something which I'm going to talk in the next slide, that how the POC to pilot was actually completed with the help of the Oracle CBDC sandbox. So when you come to the CBDC sandbox, it has multiple different components over here. So if you'd like to implement any CBDC, you can just, it's like a plug and play. You can get the already an existing architecture. You can also have the smart contract ready for you. You will be also seeing the analytics part of it, which is on the top, and the chain codes are automatically generated. So you can create the entire application or expedite the development of your application very quickly. And this is something which is very important in realizing any CBDC solution. So from the central bank's perspective, there will be multiple different actions. And from the financial institution perspective, there will be multiple different actions that will be taken care of. So if you look at the central bank, there will be different personas like an admin, manager, officer who would be able to mint or retire the tokens. There will be auditors who will be doing the auditing of it. There will be the admin from the central bank FI admin who will be taking care of the users of their respective financial institutions. So this will give you the complete sandbox. With the help of the sandbox, you can directly implement your solution. So this is the interbank CBDC flow, that how the flow will happen, and this everything will come out of the box. So you just use it, and you will be able to complete the application. This is just the analytics report. Few analytics report I've shown, but there are more analytics report which will come from the CBDC part. And this is very important that you can plug it with your own system. There are a few advanced use cases. I'd like to cover a few over here, like the multi-currency CBDC or the multi-asset CBDC. There is the liquidity pool and the liquidity manager who would be involved over here. And they can do a transfer between two different currencies. Like here, we have the USD and Euro. You can do this transaction. Similarly, for a tokenized securities and the delivery versus payment kind of a setup, you will be using it through the central bank digital currency. So there will be two different chain codes or two different smart contracts implemented, and with the help of the two different smart contracts, you can do a transaction. So there will be a delivery versus payment scenario which can be implemented. And this is something which will be directly implemented with the help of the blockchain app builder to generate the code. The use case over here is more about the retail CBDC. So you have the wholesale CBDC part in the left-hand side, which will be which are the responsibility of the central bank. But there will be the individual banks users who would be there on the database, and they can do this transaction with the help of the wholesale CBDC. But last but not the least is the unified ledger, and this is very important because currently we have all the ledgers which are separated out. But we are having a unified ledger concept where we have a distributed database of blockchain tables over here. There will be the blockchain platform here, which can interact with the XA or the two-phase commit. And it can also interact with other platforms to have a unified ledger concept. So it's not about a single ledger, it's about merging of all this ledger together to have a singleness in this entire solution. With that, I'll just conclude the session if anyone is having any other questions.